Welcome on board Norwegian Escape, the huge cruise ship owned and operated by Norwegian Cruise Line. The ship launched back in 2015 and was refurbished in 2022. I've cruised on here multiple times, and in this video today I am going to take you on a full guided tour of the entire ship. We're going to cover every single venue on every single deck, starting from the bottom and working our way up, all the way to the top. If you enjoy this video today, it would be great if you would support my channel by clicking that thumbs up button. It would also be great if I could take you on so many more ships going forward. All you have to do to come with me is click that subscribe button. Anyway, enough from me here. I'll see you on board. Welcome to our first venue on our tour today, which is Guppies Nursery, all the way down on deck number 5 of the ship. This space is a space designed for some of the youngest cruisers on board. The age range in here goes from 6 months to 3 years, and this is an unsupervised play space that parents can bring their children, so there's no drop-off permitted here, and there's no working staff here all the time. Moving further along, on deck 5 you'll find Splash Academy. This area is for those between the ages of 3 years old and 12 years old, and this functions as a fully drop-off kids club. Moving up one deck, you're going to find Mixx Bar. This is a bar which is located towards the back of the ship, directly between two of the main dining rooms, Savor and Taste, which we'll take you into shortly. This bar is perfect for if you go down for dinner and there's no table ready, to relax here and wait for one to be available, or to maybe come down here and grab a drink after you've eaten. Speaking of main dining rooms, let's head into one of them. What you will see is that if I show you Taste now, and then take you into Savor on the other side of the bar shortly, you'll see that there are very, very few differences between the restaurants. For that reason, it doesn't really matter which of these you opt to dine in. You can dine in here one night and then go across to the other one, and so on and so forth. But there's a whole host of other dining venues that I'll be showing you throughout the tour. One thing that is different about Taste, which is the restaurant we're currently in, is that this restaurant has a smaller room downstairs. In here, you'll sometimes find smaller scale events will be hosted here, but this room can also be used as part of the main dining room if capacity requirements dictate that that needs to be the case. You can see down here is pretty much identical to what's upstairs. Moving across to the other side of Mixx Bar, here's Savor, which is another of the included dining rooms. You can see, as we mentioned earlier, there are very few changes. Even the furniture in here is more or less identical to what we saw in Taste just across the hall. It's worth highlighting that these dining rooms at the point of filming are not fully set up for a dinner service. I did go in here at this time in order to capture content to show you the spaces without also capturing crew. Moving further towards the front of the ship, the next venue you'll find is Teppanyaki. This, as the name suggests, is the Onboard Teppanyaki restaurant. If you've never eaten in one of these restaurants before, the way it works is everybody sits around these huge square spaces and the chefs go inside and cook your meal right in front of you. This one is a speciality restaurant, so you do have to pay a little bit extra to eat here. Just along the hall, you'll find the Headliners Comedy Club. In here, you've got the Onboard Comedy Club and also the Onboard Dueling Pianos venue. This venue will change throughout the evening. I did find during my cruise that it was very, very busy in here. I do find that the American market love a comedy show, and they also love dueling pianos, so if you're looking forward to a night in here, you might want to head to the show a little bit early. Directly across the hall, you're going to find Le Bistro. This is the French restaurant on board Norwegian Escape, and this one is one of my favourites. You can either dine out here in this outdoor piazza section, which is still on the inside of the ship, but just out the front of the main restaurant, or you can dine in here, which is the main dining room. Personally, I think the food in here is great. I think the pricing is really good. You should check the specific price for your cruise rather than relying on a price in this video. I also think the design and the ambience in here is really, really nice. Big thumbs up from me for Le Bistro. Leaving Le Bistro and heading further towards the front of the ship, you then find the art gallery. The way the art gallery works on Escape is that it's very much in the middle of a corridor, so throughout your cruise you'll probably find that you will pass through here without even meaning to. There isn't actually another way to go from the front to the back on deck 6 without passing through the art gallery. At the front of the gallery, you're going to find the main atrium. In here there are a number of venues to talk about. First of all, you've got the atrium seating with the large screen, you've then got the bar, and you've got a couple of different service venues that we're going to now hone in on. You can see down here is a really bright, airy space, and over the far side you've got windows that overlook the ocean. Over here, you've got the guest services and the onboard credit desks, so if you need to speak to anyone about anything while on board, chances are this is where you'll go. On the right hand side of guest services and onboard credit, you're going to find the port and shopping desk, so if you need to get more information from a port or a shopping point of view, you can speak to the team here, or pick up a leaflet, and directly opposite, you've got on the left hand side, your future cruise consultant, and your shore excursions desk on the right. Just along the hall, you're then going to find the internet cafe. If you are looking to purchase an internet plan but you maybe can't do that on your device, or if something goes wrong with the internet during your cruise, just pop down here and someone should be more than happy to help. There are also computers in here, but you do need to purchase an internet plan in order to use them, so that's not free internet surfing in here. Over the opposite side of the ship, you're going to find the library and card room. This is a venue that I felt was very rarely used on my cruise. I would walk past here and often see nobody in here. Even right now, it was daylight outside and nobody was using this space. So if you like to relax with a book or come and play cards, for example, this would be perfect for you. Right next door and all the way at the front of the ship is the supper club. This is one of my favourite entertainment venues on Escape because it's so different to what is out there in so many other corners of the cruise industry. This is the Onboard Supper Club venue, and here you can come for dinner and a show, totally included in your cruise fare. I'll warn you though, this does book up quite quickly, so make sure you make your reservation as soon as you get on board. Moving up a deck, we're now on deck number 7, and welcome to the Escape Theatre. This is the main onboard theatre entertainment venue, and my goodness, is it big. It is absolutely enormous. You'll also find that if you are on a cruise that requires tender ports, you'll use the theatre as a means of boarding the tender. If you'd like more information on how that works, just check out my Norwegian Escape vlog series here on YouTube, and you'll actually see us leave the theatre and board the tender boats. Now, although the theatre is large, you have to remember you're on a huge ship with thousands and thousands of other passengers. For that reason, some of the shows are bookable, and I would highly recommend making your reservations quick, as soon as you board the ship. You can do that really easily by popping down to here, the box office, directly outside the theatre on deck number 7. The next venue, now heading towards the back of the ship, is the onboard bowling alley. This isn't labelled on all of the deck plans that you see from Norwegian Escape, so you have to go to the Atrium bar and then work your way around, and that's where you'll then find this double-laned bowling alley. You can pay for these using your room key or your cruise card. You just tap it on the machine, and then it'll debit your account the correct amount, in this case $6.99. On the opposite side of the ship, you're going to find Ocean's Neighbourhood Bar and Grill. This is the onboard Irish bar, and it's also a complimentary dining venue. This was always busy during my cruise, so I was only able to film it early in the morning on disembarkation day, but you can get the picture for what this would normally look like when it's set up properly as a bar diner. Further along, welcome to the Escape Casino. Right in the heart of this casino, you've got the huge Escape chandelier and atrium looking down to two of the venues that we have already covered during this tour, and all around the outside, you've got tables, slot machines, and I'll show you more of them just after we look at that atrium. Down at the bottom here, you've got Le Bistro on your left, and you've got the Comedy Club on your right. Anyway, back to the casino, you will find up here a really wide array of table games and also slot machines. I found during all of my Escape cruises that the casino was very, very well used. People seemed to really enjoy this space. That said, there were always ample seats available at the tables, and you never had to wait for any of the slot machines. There was always something available. Now, the casino on here at the point of recording this video is a smoking permitted venue, so you may want to bear that in mind if you don't smoke, but you'd like to play in the casino on your cruise. Next up is the Skyline Bar. This bar comes off of the casino, so if you are playing, there's a high chance that this is the bar that you'll pop to for a drink if you can't flag down one of the servers. In here, you'll find music well into the night. It's one of the main live entertainment venues, and you'll also find gaming machines embedded in the bar. Now, I'm not sure that I like this. I feel like if I want to game, I would do that in the casino, so it felt a little strange to have gambling machines built into the bar, but that said, it's not the first time that I've seen it on a cruise ship. All the way at the back of the ship, on deck number 7, let's now look at the Manhattan Room. This is another totally included dining venue, and in here, you'll be able to come in for dinner, enjoy the meal while listening to some live entertainment. It's a really lovely way to enjoy your meal. It's also a really lovely way to meet some people. You may also find during dinner service that you'll get the odd dancer in here. It's such a wonderful space, and it always surprises me that it's included in your cruise fare. Moving upstairs, but remaining at the back of the ship, I'm now going to show you two of the additional charge dining venues. These are separated by the prime Meridian Bar, making this the perfect place to relax with a drink before or after your evening meal. Up first, let me show you Moderno, which is the onboard Brazilian restaurant. In here, you should be expecting lots of slow roasted meats to be carved tableside by the waiting staff, and you should also be expecting a really impressive salad bar. In my experience, the dining offering in here is absolutely great, so give this a go if you're cruising on Escape. Directly over the other side of the prime Meridian Bar is Cagney's Steakhouse. This is the onboard American steakhouse venue serving premium black Angus beef. In here you'll also find a great cocktail menu, so if you are planning to come for dinner, make sure you check that out. The location of this venue is another thing that I really like. It's right at the back of the ship, so the views overlooking the ocean are great, and all of the glass on the far side of your screen at the moment looks down into the Manhattan Room that we were in earlier in this video, so it's a great restaurant to try and get a good table if you, like me, enjoy doing some people watching. Leaving Cagney's and Moderno behind and now pushing forward towards the front of the ship, the next area that you're going to find is the tax and duty free shopping. You'll find all of the usual shops you would expect here, from jewellery, alcohol, souvenirs, so on and so forth. And in that area you're also going to find the photo gallery. If you enjoy having your photo taken by the photographers on your cruise, this is where you'll come to view them. You can often view the prints themselves, or just touch here on this screen, scan your keycard on the scanner there, and your photos will pop up on the screen. Continuing our journey towards the front of the ship, The next venue that you're going to come across is the Sugarcane Mojito Bar. This then looks down into that main atrium, so what a lovely place to come and get a drink during your night on board. Directly next door is the Bayamo by Ocean Blue seafood restaurant. Personally, I didn't dine here because I'm not the biggest fan of seafood, but I would say that this venue looked absolutely beautiful, both during the day and at night. Right next door, you're going to find Pincho Tapas Bar. In here, you should be expecting a bit of a taste of Spain, for lack of a better term. You can get sangria here, you can get small plates. From what I've heard of other cruisers, although I didn't try it, this place should feature on your to-do list if you're cruising on Escape. Around the other side of the atrium at this part of the ship, you'll find more shops and more great views of that chandelier, so maybe bookmark this spot for your photographs of an evening. The next venue as you continue to head forward is the Cellar Wine Bar. This wine bar has been designed in collaboration with a family famous for wine production in the Napa Valley. You can come in here and have a glass of wine, or why not bring a group of friends and try a wine tasting while you're on your cruise. Just along the hall is the Tobacco Road Liquor Bar. This bar is a nod to what is Miami's oldest bar that now finds its home on Norwegian Escape. There's also a smoking room here, not for cigarette smoking, but cigar smoking only. Just along the hall is the La Cucina Italian restaurant. This is probably one of my favourite restaurant designs on board. I felt as though there were a lot of covers here, there's a huge amount of tables, but when you're actually there, it feels like a very intimate venue. When you come in here at night, it's nice and dimly lit, there's candles on each table, and I find the food here to be absolutely wonderful. So if you are planning to cruise on board Norwegian Escape and you like Italian food, come and check out La Cucina. Directly across the hall is the Poorhouse, which is the onboard rock venue. If you enjoy sipping a beer or sipping a cocktail and listening to some live rock music, then this venue is going to be right up your street. I absolutely loved it in here. It was such a relaxed venue that you could just come in, get a drink and kick back. I really enjoyed finishing my evening here, and you'd find entertainment well into the night. Now, moving to the furthest forward venues of the ship, the first of two to show you is the District Brew House. In here, you are going to find essentially what is the onboard beer bar. There are a huge number of beers on tap. You can hopefully see them over above the bar right now, and an even bigger selection of bottled beers. So if you are a beer or an ale fan, get yourself in here. There are also some really comfortable sofas and unbeatable, in my opinion, ocean views. Right next door is Food Republic. This is an Asian Latin fusion restaurant, and all of the dishes in here are served tapas style. Norwegian would recommend that you then look to share those dishes, and this venue is open for lunch on any of your sea days, and it's also open for dinner. I didn't dine here, so I can't tell you too much more about it, other than the fact that a lot of the ordering here is done digitally by yourself using the tablet on your table. I would love to see more restaurants adopting this type of technology. I do think it really is the way forward for dining on ships. So a massive thumbs up to Norwegian for designing a concept like this for their ships. Now, let me show you my favourite part of deck number 8, the waterfront. This is a wrap-around promenade deck that takes you all the way around the ship, and there are so many outdoor venues that match the venues that we've just been in. So if you enjoy eating or drinking outside, you could come to the outdoor seating for the Poorhouse, you could go to the Bayamo outside dining space. It is great. I absolutely love it out here. Or if you don't want to sit down and have a full meal, why not just grab an ice cream before you then head inside to keep checking out the ship? All of the decks between deck 8 and deck number 16 are exclusively for passenger cabins, so that means that we continue our venue tour today all the way up on deck number 16 of the ship. Welcome to the Mandara Spa, which may be the perfect place for you if you enjoy switching off and relaxing at the spa when you cruise. First, there are lots of different treatment rooms here. Here they all are, all the way down this corridor. There's also a relaxation room here, which you can use before or after your treatments. It's a really nice space with lots of day beds, and it is super calm in here. So why not chill out, bring a book, and make yourself at home. Up next, let me show you my favourite part of the whole spa on Norwegian Escape, and that is the thermal suite. In here, you'll find lots of different facilities that I'll walk you around now, beginning with the hydro pool and also the hot tub. Now, there is only one hydro pool and one hot tub. Remember that you're on a large cruise ship with lots of other passengers, so you are about to see a lot of day beds, but during the day, believe it or not, they can sometimes all be taken. On the left-hand side of your screen here, you can see what looks like a white wall. This footage was taken in the evening, but during the day, when there's passengers in here, those blinds will be up and you will have fully uninterrupted views of the ocean. So you can imagine how the ambience in here would change a lot during the day when you've got loads of daylight and loads of views flooding all of those windows. Over here, you've got lots of heated loungers. You've also got the loungers that I showed you a second ago. And then, if you work your way around the other side of the thermal suite, you're going to find a number of different saunas, a number of different steam rooms, and different environments that you can relax in. Some of those are warm, some of those are heavily scented, and others are cold. What I'd love to know in the comments is, do you use the spa when you cruise, or do you prefer to relax out on the open decks? You can sometimes, when you cruise, buy a day pass for the thermal suite, but what I've found in my experience is they often keep thermal suite access for those willing to purchase a week-long pass, and then the day passes are available on the days where it might be a little bit quieter, for example, on a port day, or, for example, when they don't sell enough week-long or cruise-long passes. The Barber Shop is right next door to the spa, and you'll find that is the perfect place to head up and get a gent's haircut. During my cruise, I never saw anyone using this, and I also didn't use it myself, but it's nice to know that the facility is there. A venue that was very heavily used, however, was the hair and beauty salon just next door. In here, you can get loads of different hair treatments, you can also get your nails done, you can get your feet done, you name it, you can probably get it looked after in here. It's a really nice space, and again, remember that this footage was shot in the evening, so what looks like a very dark wall there is actually a window that would be looking straight out over the ocean. So what better environment to come and look after yourself in than here, when you can just see the sea. Part of the spa, but heading slightly towards the back of the ship now, is the fitness centre. This is the gym, and in here you're going to find a pretty impressive array of cardio equipment and also weights machines and free weights equipment. I was really impressed with what was on offer here. The gym is totally included in your cruise fare when you cruise with Norwegian Cruise Line and on this ship. But if you do want to take any of the classes that are on offer, then you will be required to pay a little bit extra for them. But if you're looking to come on your cruise and keep up the workout routine, that really shouldn't be a problem on here. Continuing our journey towards the back of the ship, let me now show you the waves pool and also the sun deck space that goes around that pool. The waves pool is one of multiple pools on board, but I would say this is definitely the main pool. This is where you'll also find the large stage where they conduct the sail away parties and various other bits of poolside entertainment. So during the day, it usually is pretty busy. If I go up one deck and look down, you can get a true appreciation of the scale of this deck. There are loads of loungers, loads of umbrellas. There's also lots of space in that pool. I've been on some cruise ships where it's very difficult to get in the pool. However, I found the space of this one was actually pretty decent. There's also lots of space here where you can relax in the shade but still see the ocean, so don't worry if you like being outside but you don't want to be in the sun the entire time. Heading further towards the back, next up is the Kids Aqua Park. This is where you can bring your young kids if they want to hang out by the pool and they want to keep themselves busy without being in the deep pool with all the adults. There's also another pool directly beside the water park, and right above that is where you get into the water slides. Here you'll find an aqua racer, you'll also find family slides, and you'll also find the free fall drop slides, which I am never brave enough to try. All the way at the back of the ship, on deck number 16, is the Garden Cafe. This is Norwegian Escape's buffet venue, and you'll find this open for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and just about everything else in between. Long story short, if you're hungry, head up to the Garden Cafe and you'll be looked after. From a handicap point of view, if you are looking for accessible seating, that is labelled here with the sign on the table and the chair. And one thing that I always like to highlight is that you can get Heinz, ketchup and mustard on every single table. There's also wine machines up here. If you've got a drinks package, these wines are not included. You have to speak to a server to order from your drinks package, but it's good to know these are here. And here is the beverage section that's available all day and all night. So you'll find coffee, you'll find tea, you'll find water, and you'll also find juices during mealtimes. So yeah, really big thumbs up from me on that one. Heading up one deck and remaining at the back, so directly above the back end of the Garden Cafe, is Spice H2O. This outdoor area is adult only, and here you'll find a bar over on one side, a water grotto on the other, that I'll take you over and show you in a second, and then you'll find a large open deck area. In the evening, on warmer weather cruises, this then becomes a bit of an outdoor nightclub, but you can probably tell when I was on board, the weather wasn't warm enough to allow that to happen. The water grotto is one of my favourite features here because personally, I don't really enjoy entering a swimming pool with lots of people, but I do enjoy just cooling myself down, usually with a shower. But what better way to do it than come into what feels like the inside of a cave? It's really, really cool. Heading away from the back of the ship, the next venue you're going to see is the Entourage Teen Lounge. So if you are a teen on board or you're travelling with a teen, then they can come and hang out here, which is right beside the video arcade. Everything in here is chargeable. You'll notice that on all of the machines, there's a little light up pad, usually further down the machine. All you do is similar to the bowling that I showed you earlier in the video, is scan your room key on that and it will then debit your account the correct amount, depending on what it is that you're trying to play. Just across from the video arcade is the American Diner. This is a complimentary dining venue on Norwegian Escape, and you can expect exactly what you would expect from an American diner. I really enjoyed dining here because it allowed me the opportunity to eat in a super relaxed environment, outdoors, by the pool. Really big thumbs up, and I also loved all of the American number plates painted onto the table. Ironically, running along the side of the American Diner is the onboard jogging track, so if you'd like to go for a run rather than eat, then you could do that here. From a distance point of view, 5 laps is 1 kilometre, or 8 laps is 1 mile. While you're on your run, you're also going to run past the Waves Pool Bar up on deck 17. This is the top floor of a double-floored bar. The other level looks directly onto the Waves pool that I showed you earlier. This is also one of the onboard smoking areas, so if you do smoke on board, you'll probably get to know this part of the ship really well. Now moving all the way to the very front of the ship, let me show you the Haven by Norwegian. This is where you're going to find the most expensive and most luxurious residences on Norwegian Escape, and I was able to get in to get a few shots before disembarking the ship. This space in here is absolutely beautiful, and as a guest staying in a Haven suite, you're going to have access to facilities over a number of different decks here. You're going to be able to use the courtyard and the pool that I showed you a second ago. You'll also have access to the private lounge. You'll be able to use the Haven restaurant, and you'll also get a couple of different sun decks, my favourite being all the way at the front of the ship, all the way at the top, for completely uninterrupted views of wherever you dock, in our case, New York City. Anyway, let's get back to the rest of the ship. Next up, let me tell you about the ropes course up on deck number 18. This course is totally included in your cruise fare, and if you do choose to brave this, you're going to be treated to 99 different challenges. It is enormous. Right underneath the ropes course is where you'll find the golf course. This is a golf course that prides itself on having obstacles and challenges for just about every ability, so why not put it to the test, get up here, grab a putter, and see how many hole-in-ones you can get during your cruise. Now, on deck 19, all the way at the front of the ship, is our final venue, which is the Vibe Beach Club. This is the perfect way to escape the crowds up on the pool deck on a busy sea day. In exchange for some cash, you will be able to buy an access pass to the Vibe Beach Club. In here you've got a bar which is chargeable, so drinks are not included. You've got slightly comfier loungers than elsewhere on board. You've got different umbrellas. You've got a hot tub. You've got armchairs that you can relax in with your drinks. And generally just a much more relaxed vibe in comparison to elsewhere on the ship. You can usually buy passes for the Vibe Beach Club as soon as you get on board your cruise. And that's it. That is a full tour of every single venue on Norwegian Escape. Thank you so much for coming with me. If you'd like to see more from my time on board, why not join me in this video? Here, I board the ship in New York City for what was going to be one of the most amazing cruises that I've done to date. Remember, if you enjoy this video, give it your thumbs up, and why not click subscribe? Anyway, I'll see you in this other video.